Hello, everyone. I'm Quintin Hunter, and you're listening to Capstone Radio, providing you all the latest news surrounding business in the city of Atlanta. Since the COVID-19 pandemic began in March, businesses have taken a huge hit due to having less store traffic as a result of attempts in social distancing and stay-at-home orders. Many businesses have had to shut down completely. Some have had to transition into a curbside pickup-only model, not allowing customers to regularly browse in the store. With the uncertainty that surrounds the COVID-19 pandemic, there's no telling when things will go back to normal. Times like these may certainly call for an ice-cold brew to calm the nerves. After initially functioning as a pop-up shop since 2014, Jennifer Price, owner of Atlanta Beer Boutique, was just getting ready to open her first brick-and-mortar location when the pandemic first struck the U.S. As a result of calls for social distancing amongst other protocols that businesses had to put in place, many businesses as well as government buildings had to shut down. One such building was Atlanta City Hall. Due to indefinite closing of City Hall, Price was unable to obtain the necessary liquor license which would be needed in order for her to legally open for business.
I don't have a liquor license. I'm not open for business. I can't open for business legally. I can't sell beer without a liquor license, obviously. And then, just thinking forward, when I do get my liquor license, assuming that social distancing practices will still be in place, which creates a bit of an issue as well because, technically my space will be, as far as the city code goes, it would be considered a bar.
Price signed a lease for the Atlanta Beer Boutique's brick-and-mortar location in 2019, receiving a loan from the Small Business Association to aid with the startup capital. Price stated that as a result of the pandemic and the uncertainty surrounding it, the SBA halted all of its payouts for loan recipients. This would, of course, add on to the many challenges that she was already facing in trying to obtain the liquor license for her business, as she would still have to find a way to pay the rent for the building. Price stated that the landlord for the location allowed for a 2-month deferment of payments, which were to be paid back over the course of the next year, in addition to the regular monthly payments beginning in July. Despite the financial struggles that Price has run into as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, she stated that she is remaining as positive as she can be during these trying times. She recently co-founded a group called Craft Women Connect, which is a community of women that share their love for beer and spirits, and stated that she has received a tremendous amount of support from them as well as the local beer community. She remains hopeful that she will be able to continue the process of opening her first brick-and-mortar location once the pandemic begins to subside and envisions creating multiple Atlanta Beer Boutique locations in the future.
My vision is to open another location within a couple of years that gives me the opportunity to do everything that was in my full concept. And that includes a beer package store. You can come in and buy a 6-pack and take it home. I want a place for you to come in, buy a pint and have a seat. I want a space for people to sort of take classes and be educated. So almost like a classroom space. And in that space, maybe even like a home brewing set up so that it can be almost like an incubator so that folks who may not have the resources and who want to learn about home brewing can use our space to do that. I see beer as really a community, a communal beverage. It's very accessible. It's not super expensive. There's so many varieties, so I always feel like there's a beer for everyone. So I just see it as a way to bring people together, and I hope that my space could be a place that does that and it brings some more unlikely faces into the fold.
Along with many brick-and-mortar stores and other for-profit businesses, the nonprofit sector has also been affected negatively as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. The Leap Year, which is a Black-owned nonprofit organization based in Atlanta, has faced several challenges during these times. The organization helps recent high school students graduate with a 20-hour per week program which prepares them for college by guiding them through the FAFSA process, as well as ACT preparation and socio-emotional learning. In addition to the 20 hours in which they receive aid in their pursuit of higher education, those students are to serve as reading coaches for second graders at the Deerwood Academy in Atlanta. The students receive $550 per month under the program, as well as a college book scholarship. According to the Leap Year, students that are not reading on grade level by the 3rd grade are 4 times more likely to not graduate high school, which notes the organization's approach to aiding 2 generations of students. Amber Scott, founder of the Leap Year, who before starting the organization was working in the nonprofit sector for a decade, stated that due to schools transitioning to strictly online learning, the organization's model has had to be changed in order to adjust appropriately.
Leap Year is, our model is needed now more than ever with the COVID pandemic, because our model was basically saying we know that low-income students are less prepared for the next step academically, be that third grade or be that higher education. And so we want to fill in some gaps and help to prepare students. So now with COVID-19, there's this big recognition that students across the spectrum are going to be even less prepared now, because there's a huge learning loss from not being able to be in school the way that they have.
Scott stated that students participating in the program will now expect to be tutoring second grade students virtually. The Leap Year has also released a video tutorial series for students online via YouTube so that they are still able to learn reading skills even outside of the classroom setting. While the coronavirus pandemic has certainly affected many places of businesses negatively, especially brick and mortar locations, some businesses have actually benefited greatly from the recent events. Kareem Ruth once worked as a digital marketer for several businesses before eventually taking his skill set to work for himself as a digital marketing consultant for businesses much like the ones he at one point was employed by. Due to many brick and mortar stores being temporarily closed down or their model being restructured in order to take social distancing into account, many businesses have had to resort to investing more time, more energy, and more money into their online presence. He noted that after the pandemic and calls for social distancing began, he saw a boom in his business.
Yes. Actually, if anything, I've gotten more business since the pandemic has hit. Primarily because if everybody, since everyone is at home and can't go outside, there's more time, more people are being spent online. Or more people are spending more time online. So with more time being spent online, that's, all digital traffic is going up. Companies need marketers more. All of my clients that I've had since the pandemic has begun, every client that I've had has increased their budget.
This is certainly great news for any businesses functioning in the digital space. For those outside of that space, however, we must all certainly remain hopeful. This has been Quintin Hunter reporting for Capstone Radio. Stay safe out there. Thank you for listening.